For 20 years, I've travelled all around the world, mostly by myself.
I've worked in film and television for a long time, gaining experience in those areas as well.
And it just made sense trying to make something combining all these experiences from the last 2 decades.
In an age where every Tom, Dick and Harry has a camera, I'm going back to old school filmmaking to make a show about solo travel. No fancy shots with drones, no muscles or six-pack to show off, and definitely no specific eating habits. Just a tiny little camera with no one to help me.
I can vouch for that.
Eating whatever I want, just me on my own, with the whole world. Previously on Going Solo, I began a 2-week trip jet setting to 4 different countries on a budget of £20 a day, excluding accommodation and flight costs. So far I've been to Basel in Switzerland, where the cheapest hotel was still mega expensive.
I'm not even here for the weekend, like £220 for 3 nights is quite a lot of money.
Yet I still found ways to eat cheaply within that daily budget.
All for 15 francs and 5 cents.
After Switzerland, I landed in Austria's capital of Vienna, where my daily budget was taken from me. I feel like I was robbed. So I was marched off the train, and all they did at that point was demand that I pay €103. And then it was on to Romania's capital of Bucharest, where I found that things were already helping make my money go further than they did in Vienna.
Already I'm thinking that Bucharest is going to be really easy in my wallet.
Thank you, Bucharest, for being so cheap. Thank you. My local contact, couchsurfer Ramona, has been filling me in on the transportation details that a first-time visitor to Bucharest might want to know.
There's only one shuttle.
Yep.
We have Uber and Taxify, and I would recommend that.
And she's also cleared the air on something that many first-time visitors might be concerned about too.
Gypsies were an issue for Romania too.
Yeah.
They went away, so Romania is safe.
While there might be no issues with thieving gypsies in Romania, does this mean that Bucharest is a city full of angels?
There are some neighborhoods where you shouldn't go, indeed. Starting from city center to north,
Yeah.
that's safe.
Yeah.
The south, but south, very south, not
Okay.
quite.
That's when it gets a bit rough.
Yeah, not
Okay.
quite here. In that south area, you don't have so many things
Okay.
to see, and you don't have. It's not very safe. I mean, okay, it's possible. I don't think you get robbed or something.
No,
but
no.
It's better to avoid it.
I think I read that tourists are pretty safe in Bucharest, to be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty safe. You don't get robbed. You don't get,
No.
and especially you don't get attacked or something.
No,
That's not happening. And or if you are getting attacked, it's probably some
Yeah.
wrong guy.
Yeah, and I've only seen like one crazy person walking around talking to himself, but I saw that sort of same craziness in Switzerland as well. So that
Yeah.
happens everywhere. So yeah,
Well,
That's it.
this kind of people, it's normal. It's
Yes.
not specific to Bucharest or to any
the one
other.
in Switzerland was actually scarier. It's this old man just screaming, basically.
Yeah, you can see these kind of people. I mean, you can see. I've seen once in a bus a naked guy. I was okay.
It wasn't the driver, was it?
No, it wasn't the driver. Fortunately, it wasn't the driver. But even for you, who is living there, and you know how safe it is when you see that kind of people, you look at them and ooh,
I know.
what's wrong with you?
But I'm guessing a naked guy on a bus isn't the reason people come here.
Probably the fact that, as you realize too, it's very cheap.
Yeah.
Probably it's very. It's a reason people are choosing Bucharest for, but also it has some. I mean, the House of Parliament. It's the second biggest administrative building in the world. So
I didn't know that either. I
Yeah.
know it's big. It's the second in the world.
Yeah.
What's the first?
Pentagon.
Is it? Oh yeah, would be one of course.
Normally, but the tourists started to be much. The number of tourists started to increase a lot in the last period.
Another popular place worth pointing out, if you like literature and architecture, is this bookstore in the middle of Old Town. An indoor photogenic attraction, this really is a beautiful place to see, especially when it's cold outside. Speaking of which, if you're not a fan of the cold weather, when is the best time of year to visit Bucharest?
It's very cold this time of year, and
Yeah.
it's getting even colder. I wouldn't recommend months like December to February.
No.
incredibly.
November's hard enough.
Yeah,
It's
November. But this November it's colder than usual.
Right, okay.
It's
yeah.
not normally in November. It's not like that. It's raining, but it's not that cold as
Okay.
it is now, as it is today, and it is November. And normally it starts snowing around mid-December or January.
Right.
And when it starts snowing, you can get even -20 or something.
Jesus.
So starting from November till February, I wouldn't recommend. And again, starting from July till, mid-June to mid-September, again, I wouldn't recommend. So probably the best period to be seeing Bucharest is spring, when you can see a lot of trees. We have a lot of parks, and that's really cool. And also the autumn.
Yeah.
After mid-September and October, it's again very nice. The colors of autumns are
Brilliant. So summer's just really hot, is it like just too hot and just...
Yeah, because the city is very crowded.
Yeah.
As I was telling you,
Imagine,
it's the third most crowded city in the world with the most crowded traffic.
But could Bucharest also be the perfect place for the solo traveller to dine alone in?
In Romania, it's very cheap.
Yeah, it's very cheap.
Yeah, you can, as you realize, you can have dinner for 5 to 7 euros, like that.
Yeah.
And just, you even have one meal and second.
That's it. That's great. It's great here.
Yeah,
It's a welcome relief after like Switzerland and like Austria.
Yeah, when you're coming back from Switzerland and you see Romania.
Word.
So one point that keeps popping up is that it's cheap in Bucharest. Something worth keeping in mind if you're travelling on a budget.
Just
So Old Town's expensive.
Yeah.
It's like, so basically anything out of Old Town is
exactly.
just okay.
Outside the Old Town you can find pretty normal prices.
While in Bucharest, I mostly ate out of the Old Town area, devouring 3 huge meals a day, all within my budget of £20 a day. As you've heard, this city is fast becoming a more popular place to visit. So now you're thinking of coming here to Bucharest, and you've decided which season you're going to visit in, but what else might you need to know about Bucharest?
If you're coming to Romania, don't stick to Bucharest.
No.
You will lose the the good things.
Just need a bit more time. It's like
you need.
I think at least like a week or two to really see.
Yeah, probably 1 week or two. It would be better, and it would be better to rent some car, because transport in Romania it's not the best thing.
It's tricky. Yeah, it is. Awesome.
But renting a car when you're going to the airport, there are a lot of renting at the airport, and you get also back to the airport. So
another tip. Good.
Yeah, another tip. We
increase the tip list.
And here it is, Ramona's increased tip list. Wow, that's a mouthful. After my experiences in both Switzerland and Austria, this time in Romania was a welcome relief, both financially and personally. Even though I feared this country at first, it made me realise that what I read in the media was just a case of fear-mongering.
When you read that stuff, so when from the moment I arrived in the airport, it's like, when you read something bad about a place, you look at everyone in the airport and you're suspicious of everyone.
Exactly.
And that's what it's like. That's what I noticed when I arrived at the airport. I just felt really like worried, like I can't trust anyone here because it had a bad reputation. To actually spend more time, like I got on the bus and then like came to the Old Town and just spent like an hour or so here, I realised it's not that bad. It's actually not. No. So it just gets frustrating when you feel, it's a shame you have to feel like that fearful about a place before
exactly.
you. Yeah,
it is indeed. You're really ashamed when you get there and you see things are so different, and you were thinking, why was I thinking like this? It's not right for these people.
Yeah. It's the same as England. When people go to England, I think all we do is just like, it is true, I suppose, in a sense that they just drink and watch football. I don't really drink and I don't watch football, but the only country I feel...
You're not the genuine...
Yes, but the only country I found that is very true, the Irish, which around the Irish drink a lot. They do drink a lot.
But your accent is genuine.
Yeah, that's it. My accent is genuine, that's it. That's the main thing.
No, you cannot betray. Even if you're not watching football and drinking, your accent is...
That's it, yeah.
It's from there.
Yeah, I sound like I'm from there. So.
I really like it here. Not just because they like my accent, but because Bucharest is also a solo-friendly city, and it certainly doesn't live up to its reputation of being a scary place where bad things happen.
The whole city just has this more of a relaxed feel about it than Vienna did and Switzerland has as well. I feel it's just like it feels more laid back here, I think. Yeah.
It's changing now. It's the fact that people had the impression, because we became famous because of our gypsies, and now they realize that things are not like that, and people are really civilized. Even if it's a poor country, people are very warm and very hospitable, and they enjoy especially the people coming from abroad, because during the communists we didn't have contact with all those people, and what that made us curious. And a lot of people in Romania are very curious to be and pretty fond of talking to strangers, exchanging with them. For the other countries, the Western countries, they were exposed to this all the time, and to them it's not very particular. But for us, we really have love for the strangers. We really like to talk to them,
And I can vouch for that. I just lost my mic down my top there.
You're just
they've been very friendly.
The very proof of
This is definitely a place I will come back to again. Coming up in part 2, I'll be off to Germany's capital. That's 3 capitals in a row now. Germany's capital city of Berlin. But will this final destination be as good to me as Bucharest has been? Welcome back. Before the break, I was in the capital of Romania in Bucharest, where I befriended a local who did a really good job of convincing me that visiting her country should not be feared.
For us, we really have love for the strangers. We really like to talk to them,
And I can vouch for that. I just lost my mic down my top there.
And now I'm in the capital of Germany. I'd been to the city before, so I knew what to expect, but is dreading arriving in a new country normal for a solo traveller?
When I went to Jordan, for example, I was a bit. I was expecting something else. I was thinking like you were probably thinking about Romania before coming here. It's not safe. It looks a bit tricky. Probably the criminal rate is very, very high and stuff. But when I got there, I realized everything is so safe.
So last night, when I arrived at my accommodation, it was without the slightest bit of anxiety about being mugged. So it's the following day. I am here at Gap Point Charlie, so let's take a little recap of how I got here. After an evening flight from one capital to another, I collected my 6-day Berlin welcome card from inside one of Berlin's airports, the one furthest away from the city centre. With the welcome card, you can choose how many days or how many hours you'd like to use it for. One thing you must keep in mind is that you have to validate this card before you want to start using it. If you saw the last episode, you'll remember that I wasn't aware of the validation process in Vienna, which led to me receiving a fine for over €100. And this validation rule is similar in Germany too. So with the card validated, my time in Berlin starts at the Gap Point Charlie Hotel, where I'm staying in a room that highly exceeded my expectations.
I've even taken my shoes off because when I saw this place, it feels like home. I just feel like I have to take my shoes off. So on my left, there is tea and there's cups. There's a bird cage. I mean, this double bed looks lovely. I mean, I cannot wait to sleep in this tonight. It looks amazing. It's so huge. And there's a little coffee table with little bits and pieces for me on it. And it's awesome. I'm a Gap VIP. Should we quickly have a look? All right. Right, first of all, in the VIP bag, I have a Berlin City Guide. Ooh. Saltlets. Come and get your saltlets. This is, oh my God. Wow. Have I got a ball to go to? Is this? Meow. Still going. Oh, this is good. What's this? I've got some Luck gummy minis. I think they're just like mini gummy bears, but look, sweeties. And we got, oh, I love Chupa Chups. I love Chupa Chups. And just getting to the bottom of the bag. Okay. Oh, cool. Look at some proper like, they're like, yeah, Gat Room chocolates with their little logo on it. And this, I'm sure it's like a little, like a camera strap or something like that, or something it's something like that anyway. It's something, it's got a clippy thing on it anyway, if that makes sense. Oh, it's got this one little thing, it's got little Gat Room badges. So I've got a couple of those too. So this is what you get in your VIP bag. I'm still wondering about these things. I'm thinking, I've got to figure out what to do with those. Huh. Interesting.
Gat.
Yeah.
It's the word for in Catalan for cat.
For cats, like
for cat.
This explains all the cat's eyes around it.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
The cat eyes are logo, and
Right.
so the idea is, when we started, we wanted to kind of do the thing our way,
Yeah.
as a cat do. Like they're more independent, they're
Okay.
curious, so we chose the cat as our symbol.
Also, the room's just so silent. It's just like, it's so quiet here as well. And I haven't even had a chance to check out the bathroom yet, so I'm gonna do that right now. How are we gonna do this? All right, I think we should back into the bathroom. Right, here we go. So let's see if this works. Right, so backing into the bathroom. Make sure I don't hit anything. Okay, so this is the bathroom. It's a green bathroom. It looks a lovely spacious shower. That looks awesome. Don't need to show you the toilet, do I? Really? Once you've seen one toilet, you've seen them all. But this shower looks like proper. Come on, can you come in? Whoa. So it looks probably, you probably can't get the general gist of it, but it's like, I could do like a 360 turn here, that's how big it is. So I'm looking forward to showering, sleeping, but I'm also really keen to see what this room looks like with daylight pouring through. And I think that brings us up to date, is that right? Transportation, accommodation. I guess all that's left is to go and explore Berlin. And I'm in the perfect location to do this.
So what you look for as a tourist, you look for a place that is close to everything.
Yeah.
And this area is Mitte. Berlin Mitte is the one which is closer to the main attraction.
Sure. I think because here as well, you're so close to the metro stations, you can even go, if you want to go somewhere else, it's like, It's close to that as well, it's so close, isn't it?
The name of the station, Stadt Mitte, means the city centre.
Is that what it means?
Yeah.
See, I've learned German and Spanish today.
Exactly.
I'm learning. I've also learned that Gap Point Charlie takes its namesake from the attraction closest to the hotel, Checkpoint Charlie. And while you can reach most attractions at the metro station close to Checkpoint Charlie, there's some attractions that are in walking distance of the hotel too.
You have Brandenburg Gate is 15 minutes by foot.
It's not far, is it? So...
Holocaust Memorial, the Potsdamer Platz, the commercial area, it's also very close.
Yeah, your location's perfect, really, it is. It's like, so everything's reachable within within half an hour. If you're even the furthest one, Alexanderplatz is half an hour away by metro, isn't it? So
exactly.
It's not far. Alexanderplatz was also the film location used in the Jason Bourne film The Bourne Supremacy, and it's here that you can see the TV tower and the cathedral as well. And also just a few stops from here is one of Berlin's most historic sites. Berlin is a city with much history, and if exploring by train isn't how you want to see the city, there's much you can see if exploring Berlin on foot too.
If you have time, the best in Berlin I think is when you get to a little bit lost in each neighborhood. You just go around, you walk the streets, you see people going to the local cafes and bars.
Yeah.
And it's like if the city was talking to you through its culture and buildings, and there's history hidden everywhere.
Yeah, it's got a good vibe to it, isn't it? It's like Berlin. Yeah, I like it. There's another way to get around the city which seems to be a very popular option. And often you can hire a bike at your accommodation, like here at Gap Point Charlie. So, you've got your Berlin welcome card, and you've found luxury accommodation at an affordable price, and maybe you even hired a bike too. So now all you need to do is try surviving on the budget of £20 a day in Berlin, which you'll find is extremely doable. Berlin is much cheaper than some cities in Germany,
which is surprising seeing as Berlin is the country's capital. But while that's a huge plus for this city, there's one thing you need to keep in mind too. Most smaller establishments in Berlin only accept cash, which means at some places you can't use your credit and debit card, so you really do have to make sure that you have currency on you the whole time. Like I say, the cash-only policy is mostly at smaller venues, like this one for example, the famous Curry at the Wall. People come to this venue because it's renowned for selling the most famous German food, currywurst and bratwurst. And what I learned about dining alone in Berlin is that it's a city where it doesn't seem to be frowned upon, nor do you feel at a place when you're doing this. It's almost like being an independent person is accepted here, much like Daniel said about the ethos at Gap Rooms.
As a cat do, like they're more independent,
Okay.
they're curious, so we chose the cat as our symbol.
This ethos of curiosity and independence seems to be very similar to the local mindset in Berlin, making this the ideal location for the solo traveller. This is what Daniel the Spaniard local loves about his new hometown too.
You see people on the streets, they are just themselves, they don't have to hide, everybody can do their thing, no one's gonna complain, no one's going to judge it. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Also in terms of food variety, you can eat anything.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you've experienced that. That it depends. Actually, it depends on which neighborhood you're. You can find different.
Of course.
Cuisines. That's also nice. The people I met so far, it's been great.
Yeah.
That's probably the reason I'm still.
You're still here.
It's been 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time. And I hope that in those last 7 minutes, you've learned a little bit more about Germany's capital, Berlin, too. Which brings my time in Berlin and this series to a close. It's been a whole month of country hopping and learning more about travelling alone at certain destinations. Thessaloniki is a welcoming city with affordable accommodation and food with some of the friendliest people I've ever met. Al-Qadiki is a beautiful peninsula where you'll always find what you're looking for, whether it be partying or relaxing or maybe just some learning. Basel, like any Swiss city, is an expensive place to visit, but do remember to buy a plug adapter before arriving. And unless you're on a high budget, be prepared to live on supermarket food while you're there. I have only one word to say about Vienna: validate, validate, validate. Bucharest is an unexpected delight. With its low-cost living expenses and highly welcoming people, it's the perfect place for the solo traveller. And Berlin is somewhere you can be yourself, but make sure you're carrying plenty of currency in your pocket. I hope that you've enjoyed following this journey and that it's helped ease your own worries about going solo by yourself. And I hope that soon you'll be beginning your own adventures around the world. Thanks for watching and happy travels. You're gonna love this.
People are going to see me. Come on, don't anxious me. Don't make me anxious. My hair is okay? Okay.
Right, so, am I recording? So can you say my name? As you're just seeing, the sun's just setting at the moment. Well, yeah. Well, I think this is really, so here I am in Basel, in Switzerland. It's not Basel, it's Basel. So here I am. Good night. Thank you very much. Cheers. There's also a book to accompany the series, The Travel Tab Year 1, available at amazon.co.uk.